to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is that also such a solemn thing? We have two councilmen that are, going to try to be. You should be able to understand.
Alan. Bud. Present. Barb.
Present.
Hamilton.
Here.
Wesley. Ken.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, you've had time to look at the minutes. There is a correction in the minutes. Minor one. But it's, under the audience section. You've just got the names. It was easy enough to do. For the public participation, number 4 says Jeff Scalero, said the beach ropes need to be replaced.
Can't hear you
I'm
back
good,
there.
I'm good. Chill out.
Unruly.
Okay, what I'm telling him is he's got a little mistake in the minutes. He has that, Deb Scalero, said something about the beach ropes needed replaced, and then it says Deb Horning said something about that concrete thing in the garden. Those are reversed. It's Deb Horning said something about the beach ropes, and Deb Scalero said something about the garden.
Thank you.
Did you hear that?
No.
No.
It's all right.
Give it a second, it'll shut off. So here, closer. Can hear it.
What?
Okay, we're gonna start out with the safety.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I approve the minutes.
Oh,
Second?
yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Paul. And also the bills, if you had time to review the bills, if there's no questions or concerns about the bills, we need a motion about.
No, we do have one late addition to the
Okay.
bills. We have the sheriff invoice for July. Total adder, $4,366.58. For a revised total payments through August 11th, $103,389.34.
That includes a big road project, $74,000. That's why that's so high.
Make a motion to approve the minute, the budget as,
Pay the bills from our property.
thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we're gonna do safety. Jim?
All right, Aaron. 105 hours total for July out of 100. So I had 45, Yardbird 25, Lion 35. Total gas 31 gallons, miles patrolled in the village 662. Nothing of great importance. There's one, it comes up as a drowning water rescue. I looked that up and Chiefs filled me in too on that. They were there, it was a drunk woman on a sinking kayak. They had her rescued and saved. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. I actually mentioned that kayak.
I did, I know last month it was brought up, I did speak to the highway patrol again about the electric bike issue. The law is the same as far as they're aware. That one analogy they brought up is, you have electric scooters that kind of fall, even though they're not the same thing, but that's why it's written the way the law. You see people riding, disabled people, electric scooters on the roadway or whatnot. So that's kind of the same thing with the electric motor. So I don't make the law, I just enforce it. They tell me that's pretty much, as long as you ride them under a 40-mile-an-hour speed area, there's nothing we can do, but you don't have to be licensed to ride them on them. Obviously, you still have to obey the speed limits and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fire report?
Good evening. We had 58 calls in July. in Chatham, 3 in the city of Medina, 1 in Guilford, 39 in Lafayette Township, 7 in Chippewa Lake, 1 in Glory Glens, 1 in Lodi, 1 in Seville, and 1 in Westfield. For a total of 58. We had 37 during the day and 21 at night. We had 76% were EMS related calls and the rest were fire related calls. Average turnout time was 1 minute and 59 seconds. Year to date is 1 minute and 52 seconds and about 6 minutes and 6 seconds to get on scene. We gave mutual aid we received mutual aid 3 times. We gave mutual aid to Chatham twice, Westfield once, Medina once, and Seville 1 time. And a couple things we've been doing in the community. We participated in the 4th of July parade this year. It was a great day for the community and our fire department. We assisted at the Medina County Fair this past week, or a couple weeks ago now, by providing fire and EMS coverage to 2 events. It's a great opportunity for collaboration and joint response with our neighboring departments. Chief Holtzman, Lieutenant Thomas, and myself attended the Ohio Officer Development Conference in Columbus. It was a great few days of collaboration and training. Isaiah Helton completed UTV training provided by BFIS, which is our insurance carriers. And congratulations to Dr. Kelly Parker and Lieutenant Tara Powell, who will be graduating paramedic school this month. They put the hard work in this past year. We'll be graduating at the end of this month, adding 2 more medics to our roster. Congratulations to Volodymyr Novinsky. He has completed his Firefighter 2 certification. We've completed hose and ladder testing for the year, and our SCBA and annual fit testing is completed this month. We are continuing our robust training program for all our department members daily, and we continue to do dedicated to bettering our members through progressive hands-on opportunities. And the trustees approved replacing this weather siren at Whitewood and Lafayette just recently, so that's been malfunctioning for a good while now, and it's over 30 years old and in need of.
Yeah, we know about that kind of stuff around here. We had to get our own.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions?
Who replaced yours?
We're gonna have, well, we haven't got it completed yet, but Vasu will probably replace our same company. Actually, you got a really nice siren. Yes, sir.
What are we doing to make sure that we don't lose any more barns because we don't have a fire hydrant that works?
So I contacted the water department after the 7th water main break in Chippewa Lake, and they are planning on replacing water mains in the next year, is what I was told. I had probably about a 20-minute conversation with one of their engineers. I'm trying to think of his name right now, but he assured me that there is a plan in place. They're setting aside funds to replace mains in this area, as well as they're talking about putting in a new water tower at some point. What the issue is Westfield lost their well, one of their wells, so they're drilling 2 new wells, or they're tapping 2 new wells, and they're hopefully gonna have that water situation resolved rather quickly. But it is a concern of mine, definitely. But we will provide the best possible service to you that we can. So if a fire happens in Chippewa Lake, we are gonna have what's called a tanker shuttle, as well as hydrants. So we're just gonna up. So if you see a small fire going and all of a sudden you see 8 or 9 fire departments, that's why, because we're gonna have the water here. All right?
So you guys are checking the hydrants though?
Oh, 100%, yes.
Leaking down by 20 Park
They
today and yesterday.
So there's another hydrant, there is a hydrant leaking down there?
Right,
Okay.
right, on
Well,
Willow.
we don't know, if we don't see it, we don't hear about it, we'll go check it. I'll check it on the way home.
There's actually two orange pylons next to it right now. It's right on Willowwood, right by Beachside.
Okay,
And somebody put 2 pylons by it.
I'll drive by it when I.
Somebody was out there today.
Yeah, there's markings like, oops, written on the street.
So the water department's probably marking it to dig it up, is what I assume, so. Call the station and let me know those things, and we'll come right out and check those. Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you for keeping him alive.
Oh,
Over the weekend, he had an incident.
yeah, absolutely, and we're here to serve you guys, so we're gonna continue to do that. Yes, sir.
Last month, I mentioned that those stats are great to hear for the complete department, but could you parse out just for Chippewa Lake, what's the turnaround time for those 7 calls that you just mentioned, to see if we're.
Sure, so, I mean, it's average for everything, so I don't know if I can break this thing down, but, It's probably 3 to 5 minutes to get here.
So it might be interesting, because then you could see is it getting better or worse just for Chippewa, since this is the Chippewa council meeting.
Right. I'll see what I can do with that report.
Great.
So,
I want to thank you one more time for coming out to the water party on the 2nd.
oh,
The
absolutely.
kids had a great time. Thank
That
you
was-
for participating and bringing everything out. You guys did a lot for us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
And we have a water shortage then too, so we're
Yeah,
definitely making do. And our guys are having more fun with the kids. And I think they were.
yeah,
From the pictures, it looks like.
yeah, they had a great time.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, one other thing, if I could add to just, so the public always asks, I did, four-wheelers, I also did cite and tow four-wheeler. You guys asking about enforcement of that, so that occurred. And just last week, I warned a family for letting their kid drive in, golf cart. So you get warned once, and then I'm gonna tow and cite, so.
Thank you.
I had called the department last weekend, I think it was, because there was a vehicle parked in the parking lot on the beach or the lakefront, with no Chippewa Lake sticker and no license plates on the vehicle.
Willowwood or beach?
Willowwood. I don't know, they had brought kayaks, they launched at Point Park. But they didn't even have a real license plate on the vehicle. So I don't know, those
I
people.
didn't get dispatched to that, but I can look into it if you give me a date or something, if you need to know what happened.
I'm just curious if they actually were ever able to give them the verbal warning of, hey, this is not appropriate, this isn't what we're allowed to do.
I mean, if they're not a village resident and they can't park here, that's simple.
I'm just curious, sorry,
No, you're good.
thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, guys. I also have the Medina County Clerk's report. They issued 3 citations. One was for failure to comply. Actually, they issued 2 citations. The other one is for, it's unlawful for any person to voluntarily leave any vessel to swim in district waters except in designated swim areas. Then they gave verbal warnings, prohibiting operation without flotation devices. That was 3 of those. It's unlawful for any person to voluntarily leave any vessel to swim in district waters except a designated swim area. Now, that one got a warning, not a citation. An observer is required when towing skier. Completing boating course as prerequisite to licensing exception. Watercraft tags. And it's unlawful for any person while operating a powercraft to tow or allow the towing of any person using an apparatus, device, or other contrivance for the purpose of becoming airborne over the waters of Chippewa Lake. So those were the activities they had. And then he puts a note here at the bottom, several lake users are advised of PC 14.1 prohibited swimming areas. No person shall operate a paddlecraft outside of the South Bay Western Shore and Eastern Shore, no wake zones at Chippewa Lake on Saturdays, Sundays, and federal holidays. It is unlawful for any person to operate or permit to operate a powercraft at a speed in excess of idle speed on any waters of the district between sunset and sunrise local time. And general fishing regulations at Chippewa Lake, fishing from watercraft is prohibited within 50 feet of docks within the solemn course established for water skiers and in designated swim areas. That's the parks report. So they issued 3 citations. 2 citations. He's got it numbered for me. Anyway, there's that.
Joanne,
Yes.
are we gonna put signs or are we gonna put stencils or something on the wall to say no fishing?
They haven't made
I've had several people. that
They
people-
haven't made the final decision on that.
I don't think we should make signs, they should be stencils right on the wall.
That's how it
Otherwise,
used to
we're
be.
gonna Sign everyone 10 feet.
I think what we decided on was 100 feet. Is that correct? Pretty sure that was.
Yeah, I did a search of old ordinances way back when, and I found nothing except the one, that says fishing is prohibited within 20 feet of the lake access and water area, which doesn't give us much. And the park district rules. So that's something you can think about.
Would we be able to make it so there's no fishing at all from the beach to Point Park?
I think so, yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, because that would make sense.
We do have to write an ordinance for that.
Right.
We would have to vote on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And think about what do you really want to regulate when, I mean, you can't cover everything about fishing in one ordinance.
Yeah, okay.
If you let me know what you want, I can write it out.
Last week, we said something about it going from the Oaks property all the way to Point Park. And if you need stencils painted on that wall, I'll be happy to do that.
We have to vote on it first. We
Right
have to
now,
put
there's
an
no
ordinance in
ordinance.
first. We can't do anything until we actually come to an agreement as council.
Let's come to an agreement now.
Bill, would you wait? We're trying to conduct this meeting here. That's going out of order of how we're doing it tonight. So can you wait? We'll discuss the fishing. But right now, we have a guest here from NOPEC, Kyla Presto, who's going to talk to us and all of you about NOPEC briefly.
Thank you very much. Again, Kyla Presto, I'm the dedicated relationship manager to support your community. For those of you who may not be as familiar with NOPEC, we are a gas and electric aggregation. So we are a council of governments public service entity that aggregates for more than 240 member communities to help deliver competitive rates. And then we also do advocacy at the state and federal levels too, advocating for consumer-friendly legislation and keeping an eye on the markets to see what's going on to protect Ohio consumers. The reason I wanted to come today is just to provide some updates about your NOPEC benefits. So right now, as of today, the village has received $13,037 in NEC grants. That's something that NOPEC does. It's a NOPEC Energized Community Grant that you can use for projects relating back to energy efficiency. Currently, you have $2,138 available right now for the NEC grant program. And then also we have the Community Event Sponsorship Program, which was used for the July 4th Village Parade. And so we're happy to serve the community in that way. Wanted to give an update about the PJM capacity auction. You may have seen articles through your local news about this. PJM is a regional transmission organization that helps to ensure that supply and demand can be met for electricity. And PJM is a regional transmission organization that oversees 13 states, that includes the state of Ohio, and also Washington, D.C. So you may have heard about data centers that can pool as much electricity as a small town. That has significantly impacted the supply and demand curve. And PJM, it's their responsibility to help make sure that we don't have brownouts from too much demand on the grid. As they had the 2024 capacity auction that was in June 2024, to help make sure we have enough generation on the grid, generation being the things that generate supply, generate that electricity to pump onto the grid. When they had the June 2024 capacity auction, the results of that auction were higher than normal. It was about an 800% increase, which is impacting rates in the state of Ohio and that whole footprint that I talked about, the 13 states in Washington, D.C. That started in June 2025, so this year, based on the auction last year. And we're seeing now about a 15% increase in your overall bill, give or take, because of that capacity rate increase. So I just wanted to come and provide an update on that. As you're getting your electric bills, you may notice that So some things you can do to help offset that, because of course, people might be on fixed incomes and have other things that make that difficult to manage. There are some things that you can do to help reduce your consumption. And by reducing your consumption, you can help to bring that bill down overall. So making sure you do things like sealing around windows and doors can save you about 20% off of your electric costs if you just make sure that all of those seals are proper. Doing things like washing your laundry on cold water can save you up to about $60 a year. So rather than putting it on the hot water, just adjusting that dial on your washing machine can save you up to about $60 a year. Making sure that you don't have appliances plugged in when you're not using them will help to prevent what we call phantom drain, where it's just pooling electricity but not actually being actively used. That can also help to reduce your consumption. So in the state of Ohio, as a reminder, we are a deregulated state, meaning that you can shop the supply portion of your gas and electric bills, and that's where NOPEC comes into play. We are, like as I mentioned before, a council of governments that aggregates for your community, and we have a bunch of resources on our website. So also going to the nopec.org website and going to our Energy Savings Center, you can find detailed information on how to reduce your consumption and therefore offset the PJM capacity increase effect in terms of being able to reduce your overall consumption. I just wanted to provide an update on that. And does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
I thought that I was in this NOPEC. And I thought I had to do something to opt out of it. When I called them, they said I had been opt out on electric. I never opted out of NOPEC. I said, well, opt me back in.
Okay.
And they said they would send me a form to do that. They never have.
Okay, I have the care center card with me and then my card as well. We can meet afterward and talk about that. So with the electric, you can opt right back in, usually with just a call to the care center, unless you're in a contract with one of the other entities. Maybe someone came knocking on your door and you signed a contract by chance with another entity. If you were in an active contract, then you would be able to enroll in NOPEC until that's either terminated or expires. So there could have been a holdup with that, but we can talk afterward and I can give you some information and help resolve
I
that.
spent 3 hours on the phone with different people and trying to get back into NOPEC. It was not easy.
Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to meet with you and help you resolve that. I was here about a year ago. I know a resident had some questions and that's my role too. If you have any issue, I can help to support.
Because I've heard that some people will come knocking on your door, and depending on how you answer questions, they will opt you out, whether you want to get out or not.
Yeah, it's very important. That's a really great point in protecting yourself as a resident, is if someone comes to your door, first of all, NOPEC never does door to door. We do not do that. We're a council of governments. We do not go to door. So if someone comes knocking on your door, never show them your account number, never show them your utility bill. And if you are interested in looking into the terms and conditions of what they're offering, make sure you go to the PUCO's apples to apples comparison chart and read the fine print on those terms and conditions first. And really thoroughly research to protect yourself, because some of the door-to-door sales will have things like a hidden fee, where it's like an additional fee. So we only charge you for the supply that you use, but some of those other entities will charge you a flat rate plus a fee for the supply that you're using. Sometimes they'll have automatic renewals that will increase and inflate your bill significantly. And they'll also have things like usage caps. So they'll charge you a certain amount for the supply that you use, and then it can increase once you go above that threshold. So those are some of the things that you want to be wary of.
And there's one more thing.
We have no.
If they come to your door, call the police, because there's no soliciting allowed in the village. And if they tell you they have a permit, they're lying, because we don't give permits.
Right.
But we do allow, like the private committee, the local organizations, schools, charitable stuff, religious and political. But if they come around with anything else and say they have permits, they're lying to you, so call the police on them.
So, boil down, we have a 15 increase in fees because of data centers.
There's a lot of different things, the commercial and industrial space,
So
using,
shouldn't you charge the commercial industrial in gas centers for the usage?
in terms of the PJM capacity increase, that is something, higher than NOPAC. It's an entity that is overarching in 13 states and Washington DC. And even if we don't know it, we may be benefiting in some way, shape, or form from all those different entities that are providing services. So not everybody maybe uses ChatGPT, which is drawing a lot more electricity to do a simple search. But there's other things that we utilize in society that, we may be benefiting from that as well. But there are so many different things that are just technological advances in general, commercial, industrial, the data centers, all sorts of factors that are changing the supply and demand curve, and the PJM capacity increases to help protect so that we don't have a brownout, so that, when you turn on your light switch and you turn on your air conditioner, all those things that you're utilizing, that you actually get the result of light and the result of air conditioning. So the whole purpose of that is to make sure that we get the services that we're used to. So that's why they've done that, so that they can have the correct amount of generation on the grid to meet the demand.
And they do that study every year or every?
So the capacity auction, they do a capacity auction every year. And so the current capacity rate increase is effective for the June 2025 through May 2026 supply year. And then the next capacity auction has already occurred actually for the following cycle as well. PJM capacity increase for the following will be even just a touch higher than this time. About 5% up, between 1 to 5% higher for the following supply year. So they're working to get that grid resilient so that we can keep up with the demand.
Are there any other questions?
I have a question. This is for my sake. Is there some way that you have the data that shows this is residential and the data that shows this is commercial? And are the residential people being protected from arrays? When you're talking about an average overall, are you just blending commercial and residential together? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so in terms of actual usage on the grid, the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio, for all of these different entities that help to oversee, would have probably some resources there that I can look into to share with you. That's not a direct reporting tool that NOPEC would do. We negotiate the rate that you pay for the supply that you use. But I can absolutely look into that and find that for you. Yeah, certainly. Yep. Anything else?
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah, so I'll look into that for you. Thank you so much.
If you just get a response to that and email it to us, then we'll pass it on at the next meeting.
Certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I see we've got a fire chief back.
Yep, I talked to the county water department, they're gonna fix that leaking hydrant on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So, it'll be fixed Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for coming back.
It's already marked and ready to go, but Wednesday will be fixed.
Okay, thank you.
Crossing my fingers that we got this under control. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, Jim, zoning?
The zoning report for August is a very short one. We have some permits. 25-014, excuse me, 25-014, 371 Craggy Creek Drive is a permit for a fence. 25-015 is 113 Clover Cliff Drive. That is a permit for a driveway, a patio, and gazebo. 25-016, 533 Leelore Lane, and that was the variance that was in the hearing last month's variance for the garage, the 3-season room and the front porch. And 25-017 at 533 Leelore Lane is the permit for that work. This had the variance with the garage, the 3-season room, and the front porch.
Okay.
And I wanted to make you all aware that my partner is missing tonight because he has work commitments and things that have been quite overwhelming, and from what he explained. So he has been such a great help to me, and he's been there to talk about different things. He's done some work in citing people and making me aware of things. But he needed to step away. I'm not sure if it's definite, how long, or he may be back, I'm not quite sure. But from the discussion that I had with him as of right now, life is very busy. And he needs to step away from it. And I just wanted to let you all know that what happened there. And also, I wanted to express my appreciation for his help publicly.
Yeah, we all want to thank Matt. Tell Matt we all thank him for the job he did. And
Will do.
hopefully he's crying all the way to the bank with his new hours. Giving up this big job for that one, I guess we can try to understand.
They want to send him outside of Ohio for work, even though his contract wasn't supposed to be that now, so.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
I have a question for Zoni. So I have a camper now.
You have a
I
camper?
have a camper.
Is it in your driveway?
It is.
You need a permit.
That's what I need to know. Now, if I want to put a temporary structure for a movable carport cover for that for my yard, I need a permit for that. Do I need a, what do you want to call it, a
Conditional?
conditional use permit?
The conditional use permit is for the use of the, it's only good for 6 months.
For 6 months?
Yes, so you can use that for the 6 month period, it has to be taken down. And then it has to have at least a 6 month process. So if you did the cycle of putting it up in late November and taking it down in whatever that works out, May or something, or, you know, and then you just wait and have that cycle. You can set it back up, but you have to do a permit. That allows me to know what's going on. So I don't see things popping up everywhere.
Take care of that.
Okay.
And are you gonna go take to the woods or?
Go to Michigan.
Okay,
Permanently.
coming back, right?
Going to Sasquatch this year.
Jim, has anything happened on the retaining wall and driveway proposed for 160 Rock Ridge?
They have moved the stone, they put in the driveway and the sidewalk.
Okay,
And from what I explained to them about the responsibility of the village, if they would have to come through and remove whatever, they're not responsible for that cost, since they're using that area.
the cost of what?
Replacement, to replace the,
To remove and or replace.
You think they are responsible?
the village is not responsible.
Right. And also, it may sit there for 50 years if the village never wants to use that part of the right of way.
Sure.
So above and beyond your verbal discussion, we should have that in writing.
I agree, because 50
And they
years
should
goes by,
acknowledge
no one's
it
gonna know that that's
in
conversation
writing.
happened.
Right, that's a
And
good
that should
idea.
be conveyed to the new owner. Should there be a new owner at
It
some
should-
point in the future?
Should be with the deed somehow, so when the house sells, people know.
Well, you would read,
It should go in your files.
You mentioned something about drawing up an easement
Right.
to have it documented.
Well, for
And
an
have it
easement, we need
recorded.
a drawing, a plat, you know.
Well, I do have that, what she submitted to everybody. I mean, you have it in your email from them.
Yeah, well, that's up to council. I can write up an easement. It was also asked whether 5 properties which have something in the right of way on Rock Ridge have easements. And I seriously doubt it, but to check for easements on 5 properties would involve a title search and cost about $600. So I don't know that you even want to do that. You don't need to do it unless you want to do something about it. I know one place I was told there's part of a house that's in the road right of way.
Yeah, it's right diagonal to this one.
Right, now,
That came up
legally,
years ago.
you never lose your rights as a village. There's no adverse possession against a village. But, which means any council could decide they want to use that space. Now, with the house being there, I'd strongly advise you let sleeping dogs lie and just live with it. And unless there's a major project that has to use that space, because that is a real fight there. But, you know, checking for easements, I think is a waste because it would be expensive to use a title company. And what's the point? You know, unless you want to do something.
Would you want to just draw a document up that says here is the understanding?
Sure.
And maybe just like an FYI, this is us telling you, and reiterating what the zoning inspector explained to you is blah, 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 and keep this with your records and your deed.
I would suggest we do something more formalized.
I can report it.
Yeah, the way some people know.
Right,
We've had that come up before.
right.
Because
Yeah,
when
we
I,
have precedent for that.
when I held that office previously, that was a bone of contention. And for those of you in the audience who do not understand what we're talking about exactly, there were setback violations that occurred within the right of way that were allowed to take place under the auspices of a zoning committee that was a part and a separate entity from the village council. And when I held that office, I refused to take that issue on. Because that was a before Bud circumstance. It continued for years. The rationale for making the decisions that were made are unknown. And there are, to the best of my knowledge, there are no records that we can find to quantify or explain the decisions made. So that's what I was trying to address. I don't want to keep going down that same road.
Right. We've done other easements that cross village property and, you know, they're of record and that's fine. And this can be another one.
Marginally, minimally.
Yeah.
If we don't create a document, then we should have a memorandum of understanding, attach it to the village minutes so that it has some permanence.
Well, an easement would have permanence. It'd be in the public record.
Well, I agree.
And it doesn't have to be very complicated either. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting to make it complicated.
Right.
But you know as do I. Once personalities, positions change, memory gets foggier and foggier, or misstated, or misquoted, or misunderstood. I'm just trying to prevent that.
I'll do it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Anything else for zoning?
Yep. Anything happening with 9 Parkwood Pad or the Privish property where the chickens are going in and out?
Got chickens now, I thought you had raccoons.
I spoke with, that owner on Saturday.
Yeah.
When I told him about it, and I actually got a video, someone sent a video of raccoons crawling in and out of the gutter there. And I called him immediately and I said, sir, you gotta get over there. And he did, and he checked and he didn't see any raccoons, but the last time that this had happened, he went right over and closed up everything, and then the babies and the mother, I guess, tore everything up in the house and then the ceiling and everything. So he left the soffit open on the end, looking for and hoping that they were going to be out. So when I spoke with him Saturday, I said, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna look, but I don't really want to close it up in case that happens again. I don't want to go through that damage, but I do want to close it up so nothing further happens. So that's the discussion I had with him, was kind of a non-answer.
How long ago?
That was Saturday.
9 Parkway Path, the owner was fined $900 plus $149 in court costs, and he paid it. That's the 6th case against him.
That has an unlicensed vehicle parked in front of it, you know that.
I don't know that, but I don't doubt it.
We could add it next time. It should take it over 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, he's paid now almost $4,000 in fines and hundreds of dollars in court costs. And I have no idea why he would want to do that instead of fixing his property. But that's the way it is. And we do have the right to order a demolition of the property at village expense, chargeable on the tax duplicate. The problem is there's a mortgage on the property too, of about $70,000. So if you take down the house, is the lot even worth that much?
It's not in our budget to demolish that house though, so don't ask.
Well, if we continue to find them as much as we can, we can eventually.
You'll get enough money to
It's up to the demolition.
pay, yeah, get enough.
And are we gonna have to keep accepting the privilege property looking the way it is?
I spoke to him also about the trees that were touching the roof and overhanging the area, and he's aware of that. And I told him all the dangers of, you get mold and algae and that stuff makes your roof wet, and you get rot in the wood and things like that. So he's planning to do tree trimming to at least get the branches and things off the house. So, and the grass was cut, and that's about all I can say. I need to look back over some of the notices that were handed out to see what's been completed and what hasn't. I know he's done some work, he's repaired steps and some other things, but I don't know what is still outstanding.
Doesn't he have a spot on the front porch too?
He has a spot, I thought it did, yeah. There's nothing against that.
Nothing against having a pig pen like that on the front porch.
I,
You wouldn't want it next to your house, would you? The
it's,
guy that moved in next door is having a fit with him.
and it's understandable, people have different tastes of living and things, but you can't take someone's interpretation and their rights, their freedom to do things. He stays just within the minimum of our zoning expectations.
Well, he sure does.
So
Cuts the grass and pays the pavilion.
it's just one of
Well,
those.
with Leslie owning the house across the street from him, maybe something will change.
Okay, is there anything else for zoning? Okay, we'll go to community relations, Tamitha.
On July 25th, they did a movie night. There was a low turnout for the movie night. A, weather related. B, although I had a lot of people who liked my new movie choice, there was a resident's daughter-in-law who came up to me and told me my movie was too scary for children. I chose The Goonies. I didn't realize it was scary. I thought it was a classic. She's problems. We'll do a movie night again. Hopefully we'll have better weather. We had a chance of storms and we didn't know if it was going to storm or not, so I think we had a lower turnout because of that. However, you already heard me thank the fire department. Our water party, which was the following week, was absolutely fantastic. We probably had 50 people that were there, maybe between kids and parents, at least 40 kids probably were there, and they had a blast. The fire department did a fantastic job. Since we were restricted and not able to use the fire hydrants because of the wells that are down and the water tower being worked on, they brought in a tanker and they sprayed just enough water that it kept everybody wet and everybody having fun. And then they brought in a second one and switched them out, and they were there from 1 until 4 o'clock for us, which was a long time. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I personally think it actually worked out even better because I was able to use less soap and less oil and all that kind of stuff because it didn't just wash off the tarp. So that might actually if I can continue to do that, it might save us money in the long run. Not that the soap and the oil cost that much, but I used less of it. And also with less soap and less oil, our grass wasn't killed down at the park this year. And that's the first year the grass hasn't been killed. So that was actually nice too. I also want to thank Debbie Rustick for helping out because she always helps out and she's wonderful. This year, Barb Kimyati, she's a new resident in our community. She helped out with the water party as well. Matt was there because I forced him. He complained but loved it. He helped out as well. And then I also want to thank Barb's husband, Jeff. I don't know exactly what company he works for, but he was able to get me a new tarp at a discounted rate. It would be 20 feet by 100 feet long, so I was able to cut it in half. And unlike the last one tarp that I had purchased, which was more expensive, it's 10 mil instead of 6 mil. So we didn't have a single tear or a single rip in this tarp, so I should be able to utilize it for years longer. I put that tarp in the barn. Over the weekend, it's in the far barn from us. The part that we've used is in a plastic garbage bag, and the other half of the roll that's been unused so far is still in the box, and I have that box labeled water party. So hopefully we get many years of use out of that, and we got a really great value because he was able to help us out on that. And that's actually all I have. My next project's gonna be Fall Fest. Fall Fest will be on the 20th of September. So I know a few people have asked me about that.
Oh, and by the way, the ski team Labor Day show has been postponed till September 6th at noon. They have a great job offer over the weekend for Labor Day, so they're gonna take it. I think they're going to Allegheny Forest or somewhere like that. They're getting paid $10,000, so
Nice.
I don't blame them for going.
I don't blame him either.
So their show that they would do on Labor Day will be at noon on Saturday, September 6th. Okay, anything else?
No, I don't think so.
You did a great job at Water Party, as usual.
Thanks. It's a great event. It's
And you
probably
got
our
good help
best
there.
event.
You got good help,
Yeah,
and everybody had a good time.
yeah, the kids, they love that event.
Biggest turnout yet, huh?
It is
That's it?
probably the biggest turnout yet.
That's great.
Yeah, and I was this close to sliding myself, but I was afraid I'd get broken, and I don't have time to be broken. I don't heal as quickly.
Okay, we'll go to parks, Ken.
Well, we installed 8, how do you pronounce it, aerators? Probably butchering that word.
Agitators. They're agitators.
Agitator, well, it's an aerator, well, it's an agitator, but it's AERATORS. So I just can't say it. But anyways, it's working great, and I wanna thank, we had some helpers, Eric Rommel, Bill Glassnack, and Keith helped, and of course, John Santor did a good job helping out. And it seems to be working. We did not put the chemicals in yet, because we needed to beat down some of the duckweed. That's what they recommend us doing. I think this week, we're gonna introduce some of the chemicals. I guess there's 2 different types. We're gonna be putting the clear packs in, but there's also algae defense, but they recommend men not doing that until next year. But yeah,
They're
it's
supposed to be sending you some more hoses too, John.
yeah, we ordered more hoses because they weren't long enough. So that's on its way. So we're gonna, take care of that. But yeah, I mean, there's actually a video on Facebook one of our residents took. It has 4,000, I'm sorry, I wrote it down here. Let's see here. 9,400 views of our pond on the unofficial Village of Chippewa Lake site, which doesn't have that many people. So it went viral, it's crazy.
Yeah, that means people are watching it over and over and over, trying to figure out what that
Yeah,
is
what
going
is
on
that?
in that pond.
Yep. But yeah, so I think it's working. So far, so good.
Did they say how long, months, years, however it would take to get the pond to
2 inches a month.
2 inches a month?
Yep. So, I mean, that's significant, a couple years, that's, Yeah,
So by next summer, this time, we should notice a significant improvement.
Yep,
Well, John said something about that duckweed that's on there, wait for that to go off and then
yep,
chemical in
yeah, that's what we're doing, and that's for the
Really
second,
notice the difference after that.
the algae defense, so we're not putting that in until next year, but I think we could put these pond clear, in.
And what does that do?
It's, I have no idea, I don't know exactly what it does. It eats up the muck, you know, that's what it's.
Okay, so that's part of the muck, and that's not gonna do anything with the color of the water or anything
No.
like that? Okay.
No, that's not.
So
It's a
what gets rid of the
beautiful
duckweed? Bill, do you know that? What gets rid of that duckweed?
What's that?
What? Somebody?
Wait, what are you asking?
What gets rid of the duckweed?
Oh, just this, these chemicals. Oh, moving of the water, so it's not stagnant, and so when it's not moving, it grows down there. But now that we're moving the water around, that'll, keep it from spreading, beat it down, you know. So if you look at the circles, you see they're getting bigger. So significantly bigger, actually. I was surprised, very pleasantly surprised.
We should have that resident take a new video and do a side-by-side.
Yeah, I asked him if he wanted to help. He said he wanted to help, but yeah, but yeah, it was definitely worth doing so far.
Does that have to come out in the wintertime?
Yeah, you run it, you don't put the chemicals in the winter, but you keep the pumps pumping. And all year long, yeah.
What they talked about last year, when they said they had to come out, was a different unit than this. This is supposed to be a better unit than,
Yeah, this is like an upgrade.
so this one doesn't have to come out in the winter.
So we should have 2 foot of muck out of there by this time next year.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
We'll have to
that's
have
the
these
game.
passes for it by this time next year.
Yeah, and I'm going to, I think we should put up some no fishing signs eventually, just because I don't want anyone hooking those hoses. And so I'm kind of concerned about that.
Or falling in.
Or falling
Does
in.
that pond have any actual life in it to?
There's a lot of frogs in there, but there will be. That's the
Okay.
game plan. I'm just thinking the future, because it kept me up at night. I woke up and I'm going, oh no, someone's gonna hook these, see, that's what I think about. But I'm like, imagine somebody with a rooster tail bringing in one of our hoses. But, so yeah, and what else? We got the, Dale, our mosquito guy, he's coming twice a week. I don't know if you guys noticed
It's
that.
coming on Fridays.
Yeah, he's kind of changing things up a little bit.
And what is he coming, Friday and Monday?
Monday and Friday right now, yeah.
Is there a reason why he's doing Friday instead of Thursday? Is it his
No.
schedule or?
Probably his schedule. I really didn't tell him when to come. So he
Okay.
just, is there a request certain days?
There's a request for Thursday because 90%, most often you think at the weekend, we're all outdoors
Yeah, they get
during
sprayed,
the weekend.
yeah.
And as soon as the sprayer comes, if you've lived here a while, if it's a nice night and you're outside and your windows are open, y'all scream and run, everybody shut the windows and you all will fly into the
Yeah.
house to shut your windows. So I think more people would be out and about on a Friday over a Thursday.
I'll ask him about
Thursday
that.
might be more.
Yeah,
appropriate.
I didn't tell him not to come on Friday, I didn't tell him to come on Friday. That's just how we worked it into the schedule. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know I didn't like, when I first moved here, or a couple first years that they were spraying, I remember I was there cutting the grass and then came by and sprayed me, you know?
Right, he's actually really good though, if you've ever been out on the streets, when he is on the streets, he does shut the sprayer off as you're passing him. If you're walking your dogs, or if you're out on your golf cart and you guys are coming up to each other, he's done it for me where he's shut the sprayer off as he's passed. Not that it helps all that much because it's still in the air, but he is respectful in that regard.
Yeah, the mosquitoes have been, I don't know if anyone noticed, I really didn't get bit too much. You've been getting hit?
A lot.
I will, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, we just started them on twice a week, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just started a couple of weeks ago. And I met with Josh Beaver. He's our PEP insurance inspector. So he came by and our building passed. Good job, Barb. So we're good for a couple more years. That, I wanted to mention something, last week, we had a request for new ropes. And, from the ski team. I went out and inspected them, they do need maintenance, they definitely need some maintenance. We're probably not gonna have them done until they go back in the spring, you know, when they come out and go back in. Wouldn't make sense to take them out now. But I do believe, you know, I was asked to take that task on. I believe that the ski team is more equipped to maintain them and take care of them. And that's been the way it's been done. And then, you know, they reminded me that's not their job. And they're right, it's not their job. 2021, it was their job, going back decades. Right in our agreement, it says we will keep the beach ropes and diving platform maintained. 2023, that was taken out. I would like to have that put back in. They put the ropes in, they take them out for the 4th of July, they take them out for Labor Day, and they put them back in. They're more equipped to do that than myself.
But do you think the village should
I think it's fair.
provide new ones, if new ones are needed?
Absolutely, and that's part of the agreement. We'll pay for it, they maintain it. But they took that out, and they came to us and said, nothing changed in this agreement. Well, something did, that line. So.
Yes, Bob?
Yes, up above there's a couple boxes of floats for the ski rope.
Lots of them. I don't know.
Lots of
I don't know if they're dry rotted or if they're any good, but there's a
them. I
bunch.
think they're plastic rings, like me.
They're from a very long time ago when Will Lawson worked at Kiefer McNeil down the street, and they made
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And he brought those, so they have been here a long time.
Yeah, but they
And I
should
know
be-
that they've looked at them,
they're
but I don't know
plastic,
whether
so
they're
they
just
shouldn't
not
be
the
bad.
kind they want or
I'll
what.
go and check them.
Yeah.
I'll go check them. Drop a few from the ceiling and see if they smash.
See what happens.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But yeah, so I would like to, hopefully everyone's in agreement that should be added back in, because actually that line, the maintaining of the ropes and the swim platform has been in place for decades, according to Tom Melter, and when he put it in there originally. And that was taken out 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, when they got a new president.
Yeah, right. And that should be put back in there. And it really is it is their job. So, but it isn't their job now. She's right. And other than that, that's all I have.
What about this fishing issue?
Oh, the fishing issue. Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know how we go about it. I didn't put much work into that, but what would we need to do to request have something drawn up? Should we do, I don't know the procedure.
On exactly
Just-
what we want.
So we just have to, yeah. 'cause
Yeah, it would just take an
fishing-
ordinance. I see no reason why that's not.
Okay.
And,
I guess I'll send an email around to council. I was supposed to do that. and I
well, if
did
you
not.
tell me what you want to do, I can write it up.
Okay.
You
Any
could write
thoughts?
one up and send that around, see what they have. to say.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll do it. I'll make a note. It was so
Well,
busy.
tell me what you want, I'll write it up.
Okay. Any suggestions on, I mean, obviously no fishing. I think we should, have it from the Oaks all the way to Point Park.
But Point Park not included. I
No.
believe
Not
people
included.
should be able to fish
Absolutely.
at Point Park.
Where the brick wall ends,
Yeah.
I was gonna mention, be mindful that we have residents who have fished from that area for years,
Point Park.
not Point Park, along the break wall. And that includes young kids who have no access to cars, boats, airplanes. They fish from the wall.
So do we put it,
That's what they can afford. And that's what they've done for years. So as we construct a new prohibition for engaging in that activity, I would like to ask my fellow council members to walk the lakefront we're talking about and look at it from that point of view. Don't do it in the abstract. Don't sit here and imagine what it looks like. Get on your horse and go and walk the lakefront so that you put your eyeballs on what you're talking about. And be mindful of the fact that there's a certain segment of our population that are poor mice, and they look forward to that activity. And whether you're a poor mice or not, some people just like to go fishing. So be mindful of that. And if we're gonna construct a prohibition, put some thought as to how we can do that gracefully and not penalize the people who enjoy that activity, and we're punishing them with this prohibition, so.
What about what you said too about those properties, Alan, that they're for the public recreational use? Could someone challenge that and say that fishing is their form of recreation? Not everybody's a boater.
Yeah, they could try, because it does say, it's available for park and recreational use by the people who have lake rights. And that's everybody here, everybody in the village.
Those village residents, not people's lake rights.
Well, that's what the deed restriction means. It doesn't have anything to do with the village's lake rights, but you can have an ordinance.
So.
I mean, it says park and recreational use. Now, that's a question, because you could argue, well, you don't want people casting by the boat docks. That's clearly no good. You don't want lures and hooks getting stuck in the mud anywhere near the boat docks or swimming area. But the rest of it, there's an argument. It's recreational.
And be
That's a
mindful,
deed right. It's not a village law.
and be mindful that you're gonna create a prohibition, that if it's worth putting it on paper, has to be enforced.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
And so consider the utilization of that limited resource. Do you want them to be a presence and keep our village safe? Or do you want them scampering about chasing a 10-year-old kid fishing? Think about that.
Yes,
We talked over last month about this. So they're casting their, and I'm a fisherman, by the way, so but I don't fish in Chippewa Lake. They're casting their lines, I don't care how old they are or how much money they make. They're fishing next to the beach and they're casting their lures into the beach. Beach area, which is a safety issue. So it doesn't matter if that's the only thing they do for recreation, it's unsafe to the people that are swimming. And, my boat's next to the beach, so I brought in those lures that I took out last time. I understand that lures get into the docks, that's a separate issue, but there is a safety issue for sure around the beach.
And I don't misunderstand me. I appreciate that as well. I have removed a hook from my boat covers like everybody else.
Right. And then the other question is, even if it's in deeds that it's recreation in parks, all spring when I'm down there, people are asking me, hey, can I fish here? Non-residents, oh, well, I've been coming down here since I was a kid. A number of people said that, they park at the beach without a permit, they don't live here, they come and they fish next to the beach area.
All I'm encouraging people to do is be mindful of what it is we're actually thinking.
Well, that's the question. We're gonna take care of that regardless. The question is, are we going to, make an ordinance where there's no fishing, across the whole lakefront or 100 yards, from the beach? But, that's the question.
Last month it was brought up as 80 feet.
It's 85 feet.
85 feet. So that's the question. That's why nothing was really done. I don't know, but was council on, I know where your thoughts are, I would imagine, to go with
So
the
let's
80
have a
feet.
committee meeting and discuss it
Well, it's also, we could discuss it right now. I mean, it's either.
Well, that's why
we
you have
got-
committees, you can actually have a committee meeting, work it out,
Uh-huh,
and then present it and see what the rest of the council thinks.
okay.
You're allowed to do that after your daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
You got a question here.
Yes,
Is there something you could do simultaneously to make Point Park more attractive for them to fish from there? Because I don't think there's an issue with that.
Other than parking.
Well,
kids, I mean,
but
well-
no, I'm
Live where
talking
you can
about
walk there.
village people, not, I'm not inviting all of Medina County, but it's just a thought that you give a carrot and a stick at the same time.
yeah.
Here.
Well, I think the bigger problem is you're not gonna catch much at the Point Park, but you catch some good fish over there, along the docks. You know, so there's bass in there, there's all kinds of stuff there.
The
Yeah.
whole
Point Park is just those little white bass, pretty much.
Well, the whole design of Point Park has totally changed due to the way the water flows out of,
Okay.
Cage Creek into the lake, and now we have that one separate little island.
Yeah.
Reeds out there that is now a sanctuary for the red-winged blackbirds. But that, I mean, that used to be all those reeds, and it used to be, there was nothing, I could see my boat from there, my house. So, you see 3 houses down, 3 boats down.
Yeah, I don't know what we could, what would you suggest to make it more attractive? Just,
I'm not, I just asked the question.
No,
I
I'm
don't
just
know
curious.
anything about fishing, I don't.
because I think it looks okay, I don't know.
I was trying to come up with something that at the same time you take something away from somebody.
Give some back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you look at what the parks do, they put in a fishing pier. And Medina Parks does that, up on 162. Fishing piers, so that, the big picture, that's what you do.
yeah,
Nice pier that goes out.
that would be nice, but that would be, the park district with our,
That
We
that
should
is
mention
the
that.
answer.
yeah,
Especially on the other side of the lake would be the perfect place.
yeah, right.
You're on.
Yeah, that's true, because if you have a pier that's put in place by the park district, well, then non-residents gonna be using it. And, yeah,
If we, you could put one in the Point Park, and then we would be attracting non-residents to use it, there's no question about it.
yeah,
Have a committee meeting.
okay, yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, we'll go on to streets, Bud.
I really don't have anything to talk about.
I do. Are we ready to file that grant or what? Gary?
I know it's moving along. They're in discussion with Medina County to get a
When's it due? September?
September the 16th, I believe.
And you believe it'll be ready?
I do.
I wanted to add, while I have nothing, and I frequently will say I don't have any comment, it's probably good for me to tell you, I'm doing that intentionally. I am trying to generate carryover money for the person who holds this job next. And as you know, the way our budget works, funding for next year occurs in part this year by what you not spend. And because we do not have any major problems, I hold back. I've tried very, very hard not to spend our last nickel so that we have carryover. So that the next person who holds this position has money to spend should the need arise, above and beyond our major road project.
And you've done a good job. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, law director?
I sent, excuse me,
You skipped me.
I was thinking it didn't seem like enough. Okay, Barb, building and utilities.
Thank you.
I didn't mean.
That's okay, thank you, Mayor. I think Gary and Bud and I were all emailed from the Board of Elections regarding the upcoming election in November and the drop off and pickup of the voting booth. So I filled out the form and took it to the Board of Elections. I have my name and number down as the primary contact, but they're probably still gonna call Bud anyways. That has been filled out and turned in to the Board of Elections. And the Board of Elections did come down and do a kind of an ADA compliance inspection of the building shortly after the last meeting. And we have not gotten any results back from them. I haven't been notified. I don't know if Gary has. Usually you forward stuff to me, but I was here while they were doing their inspection, and they pretty much said that everything looks good. They had levels out, and they were measuring the drop in the sidewalk coming to the door, and whether or not that entrance was accessible, and our handicap accessible parking areas, the building itself. And they were very happy that the garbage can was next to the fire extinguisher there, because a visually impaired person could come in and like clock themselves on that fire extinguisher if the garbage can wasn't there. So they were very happy about our trash can. So the boxes that were filled with all the pond chemicals, I put them in the mayor's room.
Okay.
To get them out of the room.
Okay.
I put it back there, and I'll get these boxes out probably tomorrow. And I just want to say that any of the groups that are using the building for their different events, the nonprofit organizations in the village, that you please clean the building up when you're done. Replace the trash liners, any food or beverage that goes in the garbage cans, that needs to be removed so that we don't get funky odors and ants. So I just want to reiterate that the janitor room is open, so you have access to cleaning supplies and trash can liners and stuff like that. So I just ask that you please use the equipment and clean up.
Hey Barb,
Yes, sir.
could you put out a piece of paper like that goes to the people that use the building and say, this is what we would like you to do?
Yeah, I'm going to do something like that, but I'm trying to put together a paper that I can put on the thermostats so people know how to use them. Because people don't know how to turn these things on and off and set the temperature and whatever, so I'm gonna try to get that information to you.
Because it wasn't the book club in here last Thursday night?
The Pride,
Club wasn't here.
I think it was the Pride had an event. Pride had an event. No, Pride had an event.
Yeah, Pride Bunko.
Yeah, Pride's Bunko.
Pride just had an event.
Yeah.
But they did the best they could, but they didn't have a list of what they
Okay,
absolutely do.
I'll put that out. I'll put it on the calendar. We used to have one up there, but it seemed like it was not necessary, but now it is. So that's it. But thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, now,
Okay, I sent 2 warning letters to 2 people who were pretty sure were dumping yard waste in Reese's Pond. I told them that if it happens again, they will be prosecuted, and it's up to a $250 fine. So I hope that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have one case back in court because, and there's a hearing tomorrow about a probation violation by the defendant. And if he has violated his probation, he gets to spend 29 days in jail, so. That's all I've got.
do we pay?
No. No, because he was cited under the Ohio Revised Code.
Okay.
The officers know. But it's amazing, in Glory Glens too, I've got no cases going on. Usually there's a lot in the summer,
Summer.
you know, domestic
Everybody's
violence.
behaving.
assault. No, really, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, finance, Gary.
Past Saturday, I distributed July, not that comment, sorry. Back, here we go. Saturday, I distributed the July bank reconciliation report showing everything in balance. Any questions, comments about the bank reconciliation? I have a motion to have council approve and sign off.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. This past Saturday, I distributed the end of July appropriations report for your review. Appropriation for sign off. Any questions, comments about appropriations through July? I have a motion, council to approve and sign off.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. The 2026 budget public hearing did take place July 24th with a 7 p.m. scheduled time. I arrived at 6:37, left at 7:35 with no one else arriving during this time. The 2026 budget was delivered to the Medina County Auditor's Office on July 25th as approved by council at the July 14th council meeting. Any questions or comments about the 2026 budget? Okay. OPWC. Touch briefly on it. In my opinion, with this project moving forward, we will need that memo of understanding between the village and Medina County sanitary engineer before we get much deeper into this project.
We don't have that yet?
No. Unless, ask Joshua, we should ask Joshua for the latest status and how soon the draft will be available.
Because I know Josh has had dialogue back and forth with them.
I've seen that electronically, but I've seen no progress on that MOU. And that's got to be part of the, everything that we put together.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. He's a new daddy.
Oh.
Josh is.
Josh is, twins. Lucky guy.
Okay, thank you for that. Fiscal officers are required to take 12 hours of training in return of office. Since I'm appointed, I have to complete the above training for the period of 2025 to 2028. I will be registering to take half the requirement on October 23rd, and I will split the cost between both villages, Chippewa Lake and Burbank. And I'll complete my training over the next 12 months, again, splitting all costs as stated. Any questions, comments from council about fiscal officer training?
Thank you for your excellent work.
Thank you, appreciate it. Effective September 30th, 2025, House Bill 96 becomes effective. That's requiring all local government entities to implement a basic cybersecurity program. And for villages, this program has to be functional on or before July 1st, 2026. The Auditor of State's Office will check for compliance with this deadline. So I will be participating in all future webinars on this topic. That will be issuing guidelines on compliance for village entities. So I'll keep you folks updated as we get deeper into it. But that's something new that they're now pushing that we have to be compliant on.
So that's House Bill 96?
Yes,
96.
House Bill 96. A resident approached me after last month's meeting about terminology used by council to set aside monies for a project and what happens when it is not all spent. Tonight, at each of the council seats, I did distribute an explanation sheet using the proper terminology and showing what happens when more or less monies are actually spent than what you may have set aside. Going forward, because what council may not realize is when you approve the 2026 budget, council has approved all that money to be spent. You don't have to reappropriate it. So the terminology that some of the council members have used, and I haven't corrected you because I know what it's about, but I just haven't corrected you to use the right language. You should say, I want to set aside, I want to reserve this amount of money for this project. Even though you've used appropriations, I know what you meant. But someone hearing it, sitting out in the audience and not realizing how the budget and the terminology works, it confused them a bit. So that's what this memo, this document was given to council for, to clarify that. And I gave you an example on there, what happens when you spend under and what happens when you spend over what you set aside. It's all explained in this one sheet. So feel free to have questions on any future thing. It's not a big deal to me, but I guess for clarity's sake, either set aside, reserve, or whatever other term you want to use.
Oh, yeah, we kind of sort of follow Robert's Rules of Order.
Mhm.
And it's kind of in keeping with that same language. If we were to use that formal structure
Mhm.
to conduct our meetings, that would be a challenge.
Yep. So hopefully this document will help you explain why we're doing this minor change, and it is minor. But I did want you all to realize the 2026 budget you approved, that means you have approved all that money to be spent in 2026. And there are procedures and there are methods to alter that. And again, that's explained in here as well. So budgets, most councils don't get heavily involved in budgets. They leave it up to the fiscal officer, which is fine. And a lot of people consider it boring because it's just numbers. I understand that, but it's essential. It's what keeps things afloat and able to do projects and so forth. So just be aware of that, please. I did send to council on August the 8th, this all hazards mitigation plan that's put together by the state that they have now issued revisions on. And they are asking us to issue a resolution accepting those changes. And I also gave everyone a link if you care to look at that. There is no deadline in the document they sent to me, but at some point in time, they're going to be pushing for that resolution to be generated and for council to approve it.
I'll have it ready next month. All right?
And yes, that's fine.
We don't have enough people to make it.
No, right. But I know they're gonna be pushing for it at some point, so that'll be great. But you might wanna take a look at it. I know it's quite lengthy. But anyways, I don't think they've highlighted what the changes are, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, as of the end of July, balance in the primary checking account, $428,763.36. Money market, $206,911.55. Star Ohio, $114,541.50. Total, $750,216.41. Questions, comments by council on monies? That's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you. Is there any old business? Okay, we'll go to the audience. Do you have anything you'd like to ask? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out and giving us that information.
I'll
Okay.
stay behind and help.
Mark?
I found it very disturbing to learn that the bunco players leave town hall in such a mess.
The bunker players didn't do anything, they weren't here. The pride committee was.
Oh, the pride people? Oh, never mind.
Bunker is not allowed to use the building,
Oh, no gambling.
right? Or alcohol.
They would never. Okay, Bob, do you have anything?
Yes, the awards have been passed out, Pam and the group have gone around and they passed out close to 250 certificates this year of people
Wow.
maintaining their properties, and some of them greatly improved. The culmination will be this Sunday when they have we have the event, our fundraiser down Point Park with the grand award going to somebody in particular. Also, there's the free snow cones, free popcorn, and there'll be hot dogs and soft drinks for donation.
What time's that start?
It starts at 5 o'clock and runs till 8.
Okay,
Randy K. Meyer's playing for entertainment. They're having face painting this year for the kids, and they're having the balloon guy back doing the crazy balloon things for the kids and that. So it's a good time, and looking for volunteers to help set up the tents on Saturday morning. So that's
Okay.
about it. So place is looking great, you know, everybody talks about how the place looked like 15 years ago or so, and they see great improvements in the whole village all the way around, so everybody feeding off everybody else, so, thank you.
No, thank you for all you guys do too. Bill?
We have these pretty green boxes that are located throughout the neighborhood. I believe they're supposed to be for the minutes of these meetings. There's never any minutes in.
We, they originally actually was, they're not up for the minutes, they were put up by law to put in any ordinances that we pass.
I have never seen anything.
Because lately, we don't have to do that, we can put them, well, for a while, we could put them in the newspaper, but now we can put them all on the website.
They're all on the website, Bill.
So we don't need to, use those boxes for anything, though there have been suggestions by different people wanting to put announcements in them and stuff. Leslie was talking about some stuff with them, but they were by law, you had to by law have the ordinances in those boxes when you passed them. And there was 5 of them, I believe there's 5.
Yes.
But they're we no longer have to do that.
Why don't we take them down?
Nobody ever asked you.
I'll be
But there are
happy to
people
take
that
them
have
down.
thought of things to do with it, wanting to put announcements in it and stuff, but nothing.
That's what the internet's for. I'll be happy to take those boxes down because I think they look foolish. Yes or no?
That's not up to me.
Yep. I'll hold off of that because Leslie has something in mind. You know, she's not here tonight. I can care less either way personally, but I know she's got some ideas.
She has some nice
Cooking,
ideas, and
yeah.
she's not here to talk about her ideas,
Mhm.
so that'll have to wait.
We'll let you know. We'll keep you posted.
Okay,
But thank you. Greg,
good.
Andy,
No, nothing, thank you.
Allison? Lisa?
No.
Wow. Okay, I have one thing to tell you. August 6th was the deadline for people filing for council seats. In the mayor's office, we had 4 council seats open. We have 3 people that have applied for them. And 1 person applied for the mayor's job, so that was me. Our 3 council positions, the nominees are Barb Hunter, Tam Sorgi, and Alan Horning. So we do have 1 vacancy left for office. We will be taking interviews for that position after the November election, even though we know that everybody's running unopposed, so they will be elected. So if anybody's interested, we will be conducting interviews after the November election so that we can have somebody ready to be appointed January 1st. Is there any other new business? Okay, one more motion.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Bunker in this building, you know.
Hold on.